owning the state of the average high street, and you may have ideas of your own as to how things can be improved. The government is considering a relaxation in planning rules in England to allow businesses to pop up much more easily. Chris Valance reports.
With an average vacancy rate of 11% on the high street, we're not quite in the territory of ghost towns, but it's getting pretty lonesome out there. But for Emily Berwyn of Meanwhile Space, every empty premise is an opportunity.
People used to only walk down the other side of the road before, and now since we've been open, they kind of cross so that they can pass by here. There just was nothing on this side of the road.
In northwest London, Emily Berwyn is putting vacant space to temporary use, growing businesses and keeping the high street busy.
So this is the Punch and Juicy space. We've got Davina just behind you.
Primarily we make juices, but the social side is we open the doors to the community as well. It's highs and lows. It's not as I thought it was. It's not open doors and loads of customers rushing in. It's a bit more wet than that, but it's good. This is kind of the practical college of business.
Pop-ups, meanwhile use, whatever you want to call it, the government wants more, and it's consulting on relaxing the planning rules. Emily supports the change.
Absolutely, yeah. There are so many people who don't understand all the bureaucracy that's required to take a space on. So you've got planning, you've got business rates, you've got licensing, you've got all these different rules and regulations. Individual people who perhaps think, I could do something really good with that space, aren't given much opportunity to really understand how to do that.
The plan is to suspend for 2 years the need for planning permission for some low-impact uses of empty property. An ambition is to inspire young entrepreneurs who sometimes find the unconventional nature of their business problematic, as the promoter of one rooftop pop-up pizza supper club found out. Try saying that in a hurry.
You build your pizzas on there and then you just slide them in like that.
Well, that was the art of loading a wood-fired pizza oven, as demonstrated by Sebastian Redford. I'm on a rooftop with panoramic views of the East End of London. And you got the use of this space essentially on a kind of you scratch my back, we'll scratch yours basis. The oven being...
The oven being our rent,
yeah.
essentially. So the company that currently occupy this building are allowing us to do it on the basis that we sort of leave the oven as a permanent fixture, and frankly I don't want to have to take it back down again.
Unfortunately for Sebastian, the ultimate owners of the building didn't approve of the oven-based sublet. He's had to find new premises. He thinks a relaxation of the planning rules could only help businesses like his.
If it were to happen, I think it would be brilliant for businesses like this, and it would give young entrepreneurial sort of startups the ability to essentially test what their model is. It would rejuvenate a high street.
But some wonder how big a change the proposals really are. Richard Blythe is from the Royal Town Planning Institute.
They're proposing that, for example, at the moment, you have to apply for planning permission if, for example, you want to change the use from a shop to, say, an estate agent, and it's going to be possible to make that change temporarily without permission for 2 years.
Lots of people are in favour of pop-ups, but how significant a change actually is this?
Well, it's of limited significance because it depends on whether currently you need permission to open a shop. A lot of the time, shops are already in shop use, and therefore, is it actually going to change very much?
But if there's a risk of doing too little, some like Emily Berwyn think the alternative is allowing some inappropriate types of business to pop up like mushrooms.
It's going to be difficult how they define and sort of restrict the negative impacts of certain types of uses. We obviously don't want a whole high street full of chicken shops, which is kind of what we're getting, and betting shops. It's not what people want from their spaces. But I think that if you can have these kind of short-term periods where people can test things, that's the sort of only way that we can kind of get around that.
Emily Berwyn on the narrow path that leads from vacant spaces to pop-up success.
BBC Radio 4, this is PM exactly 5:30. The news now from Diana Speed.
Passenger groups have urged the Chancellor to scrap a policy that will see regulated